Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a Matchbox Kenworth car transporter. These were in the Convoy series and they were produced from 1982 until 1987. This red version is the earliest one and it was produced in England from 1982 to 85 and then in Macau from 86 to 88. This is a Macau one. There was a few trucks in the Convoy series. There was a couple of Kenworths including this cab-over version. There was also a Peterbilt and a Scania. And they had various trailers on them, everything from petrol tankers to rocket ships. This is actually the second cab over I've done. The first one, of course, being my post-apocalyptic gasoline tanker, which is well over 1 million views by now. So I'm guessing that there were plenty of kids who had this truck in its various guises when they were growing up. And so yeah, this is the car transporter version, and the transporters I've noticed were also really popular toys. I guess it doesn't get much cooler than something that you can tow your other little toy cars around with. So we'll get our little truck off of the turntable here and take a closer look at it. Start out having a look at the cab. Looking pretty play-worn. It's missing a bit of paint there. Those tampos are looking pretty scruffy. Wheels are okay, just a bit worn looking. The chrome parts are not too bad, they're not broken or anything. The stacks are a little bit bent. And the trailer is looking pretty grubby there. It's missing less paint than the cab, but it's still pretty chipped. The top section folds down so you can drive a car up on it. It's a pretty simple mechanism, it just clips on there. You can fold it back up and notch it in there so that it stays up. And it's missing this chunk here, so I'll have to fix that. Okay, let's crack on and take it apart. So there's 3 posts in this truck cab here. Then I can take off the base. The wheels are just loose in there, held on by the base. And there's a interior section, it's just the windscreen and the stacks there. And then there's 2 short posts holding the wheels on, this little plastic panel here. There we go, there's our 2 castings ready for paint stripping. Here's the paint stripper wrinkling all the paint off them, and here they are after I've rinsed it all off. So they're looking pretty clean now. A few scraps of paint on there and some oxidation. They get it going over with the wire brush on my Dremel. And this is how they came out, looking nice and clean and shiny now, ready for some paint. Just before I do that, I'll drill and tap the posts. So I'm using a 1.7mm drill and a 256 tap. And I do the same with the trailer. Actually, those posts aren't too short, they've got a decent bit of length there. Now I can move on with painting. Start out by painting the cab white. Next I do some masking. I mask the top of it off there, and I've got an angle going up the side. And then this is all painted with a nice blue. So I'm going to start taking off the masking here. And there we go, they're not looking too bad. It was starting to get a bit more fiddly after this, so I did the rest of it off camera. And this is how it came out looking. Also detailed in the little horns and lights up the top there with some silver. Onto the trailer now. It's given a coat of white primer. And then I painted the whole thing in the same blue as the cab. I decided not to detail the hydraulics at the back there, as they're only half detailed and I think it'll actually end up looking quite messy. But I do detail the rope at the front. Now on to the top section. So it was pretty grubby. I gave it a wash in some soapy water. Now I'm going to fix this broken section here. I've got some styrene sheet and I'm just going to trace around the broken part here. And then I cut this out carefully with my craft knife. There we go, it fits in there quite well. So I glue it in there with some thick super glue. And next I build it up with some Tamiya putty. Once this had fully cured, I file it down as smooth as I can. On the top there and on the sides. I got it pretty smooth on the outside, you can't really notice, and it was pretty tricky on the inside because of the ribbing there, but I did the best job that I could. And once I was happy enough with it all, I gave it a coat of grey primer. There we go, you can sort of see the repair of it on the inside there, but it's pretty hard to see on the outside. Next I hit it with some black. And finally it was given a dark silver. I think it's going to look quite cool with a metal top section. Onto the plastic parts, there's these stacks and the base of the cab. First thing I'm going to do is remove the old chrome paint off of them. It's a little bit of hot water and some caustic soda. Here they are about 30 seconds later. You can see the chrome is coming off them at a rate. And here they are after a good rinse. There's no chrome left on them at all, pretty much. There's a splodge of something on the grill of the truck there, but it was sort of in the plastic, so I couldn't get rid of it. Now to deal with the bent exhausts here, I use some boiling hot water and some ice cold water, and I plunge them into the boiling water, then straighten the stacks up, and then plunge them straight into the cold water. I think they're looking pretty straight now. So these were both given a coat of black primer, and then these were given a coat of black primer, and then they were painted in chrome, which for some reason I forgot to take any footage of. so you'll have to see it at the end. Here is the windscreen section. It's actually in pretty good nick. It was a bit dirty, and here it is after a wash. Almost don't need to do anything to it, but I give it a polish anyway. And here's how it came out. It's looking pretty shiny and smooth, I think. Notice that this section also holds the front wheels in there. And here are the wheels from the cab. They're okay, they could be salvageable, but I'm going to replace them with these newer Matchbox wheels. And here are the wheels from the trailer. I'm just going to reuse these as they're in pretty good nick and they're quite small. I'll just sand the rusty ends of the axles. And of course here's that black plastic plate that was holding in the rear wheels. Just going to reuse that. So here are all the parts of our Matchbox Kenworth cab-over car transporter from the 1980s. Refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. So a few pieces there. I'm quite keen to see how this looks once it's reassembled with that new paint job. But before we do that, we better just take a look back and be reminded of what we started with. So here is the cab. Looking a right mess there with its chipped old red paint job. Worn out tampons on the sides there. Chipped chrome on the base. It's all missing off the tanks at the side there. And those bodgy bent looking exhaust stacks. Let's see how it looks after a good tidy up. And here it is. It's been repainted in a nice blue and white. It's had its details re-chromed. Nice new set of wheels there. And those bent exhaust stacks have been straightened up. Definitely makes it look a bit tidier. I'm really liking the blue and white paint job there. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you're enjoying the content on the channel. I'll just give a shout out to my awesome Patreon supporters who help to support the channel through Patreon. Just pay a few dollars every month. It really adds up and helps out. And I'll be buying something pretty cool with it for the channel soon. If you'd like to help out as well, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description down below. There's also a couple of extra videos you get access to there. Okay, so moving on, here is the trailer. Looking pretty grubby there, particularly the top section. It's also broken, a big chunk taken out of it. Its wheels are in a pretty decent state, but that paint job on the trailer is a bit chipped and messy looking. It's definitely not going to go with our nice new cab in this state. So let's see how it looks after its makeover as well. And here it is, our finished car transporter trailer. That old scruffy red paint is gone and replaced with a nice clean blue here. We'll fix the chip in the top section there, and that's been painted a nice dark metallic. Definitely looking a lot tidier than it did, and with that blue trailer it's going to match the cab perfectly. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like the new colour scheme? Did you used to have this toy when you were a kid, or one of the other cab over trailer versions? Thanks heaps to everyone for supporting the channel, great comments and likes etc on my videos. Thanks heaps for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to see more similar stuff, remember to check out my other videos, subscribe and click the bell so that you get notifications, and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends as it really helps.